Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks podcast. It's Mailbag Monday. On a Tuesday, it's Greg Boysen with Mario Tirabassi. Our pal Jay Zawoski is off today and tomorrow as he enjoys some time with the family north of the Cheddar Curtain in the highly underrated city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I like Milwaukee. It's got some...
I lived and worked in Milwaukee for a bit. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, Summerfest. I always used to love going up to Summerfest.
Summerfest is fun. There's a ton of festivals.
Is good down there. Yeah, that whole festival.
ton of festival city. It's a big festival city for sure.
Yeah, I always said if the Bears and Arlington Heights thing goes through, and the city's looking for something to do with Soldier Field, tear it down and build a permanent festival ground like they have in Milwaukee right there on the lakefront. Then you could have your Lollapalooza there, your Riot Fest, your Pitchforks. You have a different music fest.
Taste of Chicago.
Every weekend there.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to take up the parks and cause hassle in neighborhood. It makes too much sense that it will never happen. But that's what I would do if I were king.
Boysen 2028.
I don't want that gig. I got the gig I want now. Yeah. I'm satisfied with it. There's no way in the world I'm going in the... I don't like being as public as I am now, let alone going out.
No, yeah, that'd be a smart idea if the Bears and Soldier Field don't stay together, which doesn't seem like is in the cards.
Never say never, but yeah, it doesn't appear so. But
I hear the Chicago Red Stars are under new management or new ownership rather.
I heard,
and maybe the Fire and the Red Stars make Soldier Field a soccer arena. Who knows? Lots of things could happen.
Lots of things can happen. Yep. I think they could definitely repurpose that area and get better use out of it.
Zach in our chat says, turn it all into hockey rinks. I'm not opposed to that either.
Yeah.
Make a gigantic outdoor rink winter festival.
I think we have a better chance of the Bears staying there than that happening.
That's true.
All right, well, yesterday we talked a lot. We had a lot of our mailbag questions. We still have a bunch left over. We thank you guys for that, giving us at least 2 days worth of content.
Well, and it's fun too. We joke like, it's easy content for us to just answer questions, but it is fun to just kind of go through some of these random, Blackhawks thoughts and questions over the summer and past the days as we count down to actual hockey coming back. And it's fun to just kind of spitball about random stuff too sometimes. I enjoy it. It's a change of pace, and I know as a avid sports podcast listener myself, I do enjoy when sometimes it's a change of pace and something different. So hopefully everyone enjoys that too. For sure.
And our listeners are good at questions, and I think it helps us get a little more personal on things and just not talk about X's and O's and
stick
line
to
changes.
Sports all the time.
No, we can get a little, let our personalities come out a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, our guy Greg Braggs. We got 2 Gregs on the show. Mario, you're surrounded.
Oh,
sorry for that.
It's a Greg sandwich.
Yes.
2 Gregs don't make it right.
But Greg's on the control today. So what we got for our first question on Mailbag Monday on a Tuesday?
Yeah, it's a pretty fun question. So I thought I'd share the thumbnail first. A day with the cup. It's our little thumbnail.
Good look.
You got to love when you see Johnny Taves hoisting the cup up.
It's good memories.
Yeah, hey, maybe we're getting closer to those days again.
Photoshop Connor Bedard's face.
Yes. Next time. Maybe we won't need to Photoshop it. But Scott,
hopefully.
Iowa 23, asks, what would your day with the cup be like?
That's a fun one. I like
one.
that question.
I've thought about that.
Yeah. Well, since you,
I mean, it'll never happen, but I've thought about it.
never say never. It's not too late.
Yeah.
You know, we could get jobs with an NHL team one day that happens to win it.
You
We're
never
never
know.
going to win it as a player.
No,
But-
no, I've given up on that dream. Even though I still have my free agency status out there, NHL teams, if you're looking.
Yes, we'll put Mario's phone number in the Twitter account later. You can call him.
Make all that public. Yeah, that'll go well. My day with the cup, I'd do it in my hometown in Kenosha. I'd bring the cup to the rink that I learned to skate and play at, the Kenosha Ice Arena. Do a little fun event for the community and the kids, and come out and see the cup and shake hands and take pictures and all that. It'd be fun. Maybe do like a little community skate out there. That'd be a good time. And then I think I'd then take it to my parents' house. Just do like a little private family like little lunch or something. And then from there, with family and friends. And then from there, I would take it down to Chicago, and I think I'd take it to the Pony, and just for old time's sake, bring the cup back there, where it used to love to circulate.
I'm sure he's still got some friends there.
I'm sure, yeah. So where it used to love to circulate from time to time with the Blackhawks of days past, and just have a good time that night, and then pass it off to you for your day with the cup.
Yeah, man, there's so many fun things you could do. I mean, obviously, I would spend part of the day with like my family and friends, people who have been a part of the journey. Have a little party there, and then I think maybe take it down to some, one of the local rinks.
Yeah.
Maybe Fifth Third Arena, maybe one of the other ones out, around. It doesn't get. Take it to a local rink. Let some youth teams get the thrill of seeing it, taking pictures with it. I don't drink anymore, so I wouldn't drink anything besides, a bubbly out of it. But I would definitely eat something out of it.
Yeah, what would you eat out of it?
That's a tough question, too. It'd have to be like a little bit of my all-time favorites, like throw some couple slices of pizza, maybe some tacos in there, or just,
sampler platter.
Just fill it up with a big sloppy Joe mixture and just
man.
have a sloppy Joe buffet right out of the top,
right out of the cup.
Yeah, something fun like
Some
that,
pulled pork.
something good and messy. And I think at night, I would have to schedule a day since I'm such a big music guy. I'd want to schedule it a day where like one of my all-time favorite bands are in town. Maybe like this past week with like Springsteen at Wrigley, or next month with Pearl Jam at United Center.
Yes.
And take it to like one of my favorite bands' concerts, and let them have it on stage while they play
Go
a
up on
song or
stage with
something.
it,
and just have them hang out with it. It'd be cool.
That'd be awesome.
And then of course at night, I would bring it in the bed and fall asleep with it. I would spoon the Stanley Cup.
Spoon it, yeah, definitely.
And,
big spoon or little spoon?
I just size-wise, I'd have to. I'm the only one with arms, so I guess I'm the big
That's true.
spoon.
Yeah.
So, but that would be, that'd be a good time.
Yeah, that'd be good. I don't know what I would, because there's been so many really creative and iconic meals out of the Stanley Cup.
Big bowl of cereal is always good.
Bowl of cereal. Host that did pierogies. Phil Kessel's done his hot dogs
Maybe
out
giant
of it.
ice cream sundae.
Yeah,
Let the
maybe
kids- let the
that.
kids
I
go
think that'd be
crazy.
part of it. I think when I had it, when I would have it at my family friend's place, do like a ice cream, just pile a bunch of ice cream in there, have the kids go crazy at it. I'm sure my daughter would love that. I think that'd be pretty fun. It's fun to. I know when we see all these, Days of the Cup videos and stuff like that, especially, thinking about, some of those old Blackhawks championship DVDs, and they'd have all the behind the scenes stuff. It's really cool to see the guys who, they share it with their friends, their family, old coaches, old community, their original communities that they learned to play with and stuff. It's just that really cool aspect of just kind of like bringing it back to where it all started. And so I think that would be my focus if I ever had a day with the cup. But I mean, you only get 24 hours, and there's only so many things that you want. There's so many things you want to do, but only so many that you can do. I know you had yourself a nice boat day this past weekend.
Yeah.
Maybe take it out on Lake Michigan.
I'd be so afraid that it goes overboard. I'd be I don't know if I would do that.
Well, Tampa, was it the Lightning that did the like jet ski parade for a while?
I think so. Didn't the Bruins do the famous like what are those, like the Ducks or whatever they have?
Oh,
in
yeah.
Boston? Or was that the Patriots?
Might have been. It was one of the New England teams. But
They win so many championships out there.
yeah, they all blend together.
Hard to keep track of which one is.
Yeah, it was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brady threw
I remember
the
that.
Super Bowl trophy from one boat to the other.
Yeah, but when you got like 18 like he does, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, who
stupid
cares?
thing again.
But Tampa doesn't have as many. So, yeah, I mean, I had to step in here because,
Yeah.
you know, as much as I appreciate you guys and the wholesome content you just brought there, I got to shake it up a little bit. Because
right.
I've only drank with one world champion from our great city in my lifetime, and that was Dennis Rodman. Of course, everybody has drank.
And you're still
And
alive.
you-
And
to
I'm
tell the
still
story.
alive to tell the story.
Made it
And
out.
It was an interesting night because he was near my area where I live and grew up in, and he was doing an autograph signing. Ended up at the bar by where I live, and so I drank with him all night. He was the nicest dude in the world. He didn't really want to do pictures or autographs. Like when people would come up, he'd just say, "Hey, just come up and hang with me," you know.
Yeah.
So I kind of took that cue, sat with him the whole time, taking shots, getting drunk. And my greatest regret was he gets on a bus to go to another place and was like, "Do you want to come?"
Oh,
And it was
man.
one of those moments where you're like, this is like a no turning back moment. And it was
Yeah.
already like 2 a.m.
You
and I
go
was
to
like,
that. You go to that next location. You don't know what's gonna happen.
Exactly right. Because it was already like 1 or 2 a.m. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tap out here, man. Great night, great meeting you. But this time around, I'm going with Dennis Rodman with the Stanley Cup because we could end up in Vegas. You say I get it for 24 hours. We could end up getting on a private jet to Vegas. You have no idea where we're going to go.
North
Start in
Korea.
Chicago, North Korea. I'll take Vegas.
You could be making some peace treaty negotiations. Who knows?
I'll take the short trip to Vegas.
You can get a matching tattoo on your face of your
yes.
wife. Then he just
We're
get
gonna
his
drink
girlfriend
out
to
of
do
that
that.
cup.
No.
You know, I'm not as heavy a drinker as I used to be, but I'll indulge here and there.
I would
Yeah.
hope neither is Dennis Rodman. I would hope.
I don't
I
know. I
have
think
no
he's
idea.
still having fun, but that's where I'm going with it. But
All
I just
right.
had to shake it up. a
That
little
would
bit
that would
here.
be
That'd be a fun
quite
one.
the 24 hours.
We would
There-
have to make sure the CHGO All-City cameras are following you
Yeah,
too for the entire
that would
24 hours.
that'd be a 5-part docu-series on that 24
all
hour
shown
period.
after dark. I don't think we can put any of that on the YouTube
Yeah.
channel. All right, that was a
That'd be
fun
good.
question to get us going.
I like
Thanks,
that.
Scott, for the question. What do we got next on the old docket there, Braggs?
Yeah, we got a few things here. Well, let me skim through these. Not sure which order, so we'll just kind of start from the bottom.
Fire away.
Fire away. Here we go.
All right.
If the Mike Perilla at Ready Edgemont asks, if the NHL put you in charge of expanding the league to have another team or set of teams in a country outside of the U.S. or Canada, where would you go and why?
Man,
That's interesting.
that's tough. Just because no matter where you go, logistically, that might not be possible. But we're in we're in fantasy land right
If
now.
all logistics are, if all 32 current teams agree to the logistics of another team, let's say.
teams, you'd probably have to do. If you're going to go into over into Europe, you'd probably have to do at least 2 teams to make it worthwhile.
Right.
Teams go over there for like a week and play 3 times against each
Right,
team or
yeah.
something like that.
Be like series.
Yeah.
Scheduling.
And then they'd come here for like 2-3 weeks at a time.
Yeah, I would think. I think it would be cool to have. I mean, for the sport, it would kind of make sense to have a team in Russia, but then you get into the whole political side of things. But I would say put a team in. I know the Swiss league has some pretty nice facilities. So maybe a team in the Swiss area, that centralized location of Europe. I think it's Davos and Bern. They have good facilities out there. And then I think I'd put one in either Sweden or Finland, in that Nordic region where, I mean, so many hockey players come from overseas. So
Yeah.
those would be my locations.
Sweden and Finland, that makes the most sense. Maybe put one in each since they're
Yeah, you could do that.
You know, they're pretty close. They've been, look at what Finland does on the international level. I mean, they're all about, national pride and winning, and then both countries have produced Hall of Fame talent.
Yeah.
Nonstop. Russia, probably makes sense. I just, again, who knows if you could ever get that to work.
Right.
And with everything in the climate in the world today, might not be the best idea. Would you think a team would work in Mexico? I mean,
logistically, that's the easiest.
Yeah.
Because that's the closest. I mean,
Mexico City is the most populated city in all of North America. So.
I think you could make a team work there. A lot of games against the Dallas Stars and the Phoenix or Arizona Coyotes to start, just because it's close. It's
right.
that southern
get the
cultural
get the
crossover.
Southern California teams down there.
Yeah. I think that could work. I think it's just you just got to get the fan base acclimated to hockey, and there was an article put out by The Athletic recently about what hockey can learn from other sports leagues to grow the sport and whatnot. And I think that they're one of the leagues that needs the most help because they always seem the furthest behind. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't think that if done right, a team in Mexico City or something like that could work. But I think your first thought is somewhere in Europe, just because of how much talent has come from Europe.
Just the footprint of the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Czechia wouldn't be a bad spot either.
Yep.
It's a little more centrally located in Europe. Blackhawks have played in Prague.
But you could put you could put a whole division out in Europe.
Yeah, just
put 6 teams
NHL
out there.
Europe. Just give them their own division.
One in Sweden, one in Finland, one in Czechia, one in Switzerland, put one in Germany.
Sure.
Slovakia.
Yeah.
Wherever you want to go.
That all works. Prague is a big hockey city, and Czechia is again another country that I know the Blackhawks played in Prague. A few years ago. That was a regular season game, right? Started the
season opener, wasn't it?
Philadelphia, I believe it was. And everything I've heard about Prague is it's just like a
super nice,
gorgeous city, beautiful city. I'm pretty sure some of our fellow beats were on that
they
trip.
went out there. Yeah, I remember that.
Tracy
they went
and
out
Laz,
there.
I think were on that trip. So that wasn't that long ago.
That was the start. Was that the 17-18 season or the 18-19?
Might have been 18-19.
I know. Colleton was the coach.
Then it had to be 18-19.
Might have been 18-19.
Because Q was still the coach to start 17, wasn't he? Yeah. I don't know. No. Quenneville was fired partway. What was it, like 13 games into the 18-19 season? So then he was still the coach.
So it would have been the 19th. We gotta look this up.
Google machine.
This is bothering me now.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Was it the beginning of the shortened season?
See, it's
Blackhawks Prague.
Windy City Hockey says
Global
I have
Series.
family from the
It was
Czech,
the beginning.
Czech
Yeah,
Republic. It was the 2019-20.
yeah, beginning of the
1920
1920 season.
So the year that started in Prague and then ended with COVID.
With COVID, yeah.
That whole pandemic thing has just screwed up my time.
Oh yeah,
my sense of time from that 1920. God, it feels like so much longer. That was only 4 years ago. It feels like it was 10 years ago. Jeremy Colleton feels like 10 years ago. Like
right.
that whole thing, that whole debacle.
So much has happened.
My God. All right.
Crazy. But yeah, there's tons of options I think in Europe that would work. And yeah, I think the NHL Europe division would be a ton of fun.
Yeah, but it'd
be hard to watch with the time differences.
Right.
But I think it would be a ton of fun.
It would be fun, but you would have to make sure that it's not just like European players playing there. You need
you'd have an expansion. You'd probably have multiple phases of an expansion draft. And then think about the talent pool that opens with more NHL teams. I'm sure more European players would be interested as free agents to play in NHL Europe teams.
You
I
get
think
some
it'd be
of
cool.
these lifer European players that don't want to leave and come all the way to North America. Now they can be NHL players and stay at home. It'd be fun.
We had our free agents draft last Friday. A couple of those guys could land some jobs.
Yeah. Patrick Kane playing in Finland.
Yeah, could happen.
Can you drive from Buffalo to Finland? I don't know.
No, I don't think you can.
You can't? All right.
I don't think you can
ferry.
try. I don't think you'll get far, but you can try.
All right, what's next?
Let's take a look here, see what we got. We got a bunch of good ones, so we'll pull this up. Matt Farron at Matthew W. Farron asks, are there any more teams that need help with their cap? If so, should the Hawks be a willing participant, and what should they be looking at to facilitate?
There's always teams looking for help.
There's always going to be teams looking for cap relief, whether it's right before the season or down the line into the season. The Blackhawks are in a position that any team that needs help, they should have their phone number available, because we've seen with a couple of the moves that have happened in the last couple of weeks. The Erik Karlsson trade, just today, another trade involving Jeff Petrie, with multiple moving parts. I mean, the Blackhawks, they have the capacity to be a third team in a trade to, take on a bad contract or hold some money from a bad contract and facilitate, different things for, a prospect or a pick or whatever it is. The Blackhawks should be open to doing it because they have the capacity to do it. And it really only in that scenario where, if you're the third team in a trade or something like that, it really only benefits you because you're getting something for just kind of being there on the side. So, without having to sacrifice anything in any trades, anything of major value, you can get an extra pick or an extra player for your trouble. So I would say that the Blackhawks should be an option for teams looking for cap relief. And there's still some. I think the Maple Leafs are still not completely out of the woods. So that's always an option there. And if Kyle Davidson wants to, use that cap space that he has, especially if things are like short term, like if there's, someone on an expiring deal or, 2 years of an expiring deal or anything like that, he should be in the market for that.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see anything like that before the season starts. You never know. Maybe something happens in training camp, preseason, someone gets hurt.
Yeah.
I think the earliest you would really see is, wouldn't it be ironic, don't you think? If whatever team decides they're going to sign Patrick Kane in November, December, whenever he's ready, has to then trade away a bad contract and a first-round pick to the Blackhawks in order to sign Patrick Kane. So then we can add that to the overall return in the first Patrick Kane trade and say, hey, we did pretty good. We got 2 first-round picks out of this.
Would that be like rain on your wedding day? I'll stop.
No, that's good.
Or the trade deadline will probably, the Hawks may get involved and be the third team.
They'll be a facilitator.
Retain some salary and then get a draft pick or an NHL-ready prospect in the future. As you said, there's only things to gain, and the Blackhawks will be that team that everybody goes to when they're like, hey, what's it going to take for you to take on this $5 million contract for this year or next year? Well, it's going to take your first-round pick, or it's going to take your second-rated prospect.
Mm-hmm. And with the caps, the cap potentially going up a significant amount, and so much money coming off of the Blackhawks books from this season to next season. If you add another contract, even if it is a 2-year deal, that's a bad contract that you're just kind of eating money. It's not gonna kill you. You're not gonna handcuff yourself with bad contracts going into next season or the season after. Like, they have the flexibility to do it. So I think if it's an option, if it presents itself, Blackhawks should be in on it. You want to keep that stockpile of future assets in motion, and you always want to keep it. You always want to keep it stocked, for lack of a better term.
I'm assuming this will be a 99 cent super chat from Young
That's
Dangle
his
guy.
fine. He's paying his
there
fine.
There it is. Yeah, he's paying his
that's our bit. Our bit is We have our fine jar somewhere.
Back on the
It
shelf,
used to be the he who shall not be named. If you said his
Correct.
name, we had to throw in $1, and we changed it to anytime you say the Blackhawks should re-sign Patrick Kane, you owe $1. Young Daigle God is just part of the bit. He does this almost every show where he in jest says it and then pays his 99-cent
chips in
fine.
the dollar.
So,
Good thing.
Thank you once again for your donation, Young Dangle God. You are helping us dominate the hockey world.
You're helping us get to Trenton by the end of the week.
Yes. So only like 30,000 more mentions between now and the end of tomorrow's show, and we can get to the Marian Hossa game on Friday, which apparently will be broadcasted.
I guess there's going to be some...
Obviously locally in Slovakia.
Locally. There's going to be some way... I have to check it out, but it looks like there's some way that you could access the stream through a Slovakian stream provider. I don't know how you would access that.
Check your VPN website.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it. But there is going to be some sort of access to that stream that I think you could get from North America. So I'll look into that. I hope it's not like a sign up and pay kind of thing. If it is, and you're willing to do that, by all means,
there's always a freeway. There's always a freeway on the interwebs.
There could be, yeah.
As long as you're willing to have like a online casinos logo in front of what you're watching all game.
Right.
We'll find a way. When we find a way for you guys to access that, we will definitely pass along that information. And what is the perfect thing to snack on while watching Marian Hossa's final game?
Pierogies.
Besides that,
Chicken wings.
Some chicken wings. And the best chicken wings ever, of course, are at our friends Hooters. Hooters is your spot to catch all games this season. Maybe not the Marian Hossa game, but all the professional games. Step up to our plate for world-famous wings, delicious seafoods, stacked sandwiches, salads, and more at Hooters. Tons of great beer specials and $6 drink all day, every day specials. So you get your nice cold adult beverage to wash down your award-winning wings. Check out Hooters Seafood Specials, $19.83 for a pound of crab legs, and great prices on buffalo and steamed shrimp as well. Hooters is celebrating 40 years in business all year long. In honor of that anniversary, on the 4th of every month, Hooters will be hosting a throwback event, bringing the 80s back with 83-cent wings and other great specials. So I believe then the next one will be in September. That first Tuesday, I believe, is the 5th of September. I know that because I have Pearl Jam tickets that night. So, yes, check out all of our friends at Hooters. Get yourself some great deals as they celebrate their 40th anniversary.
And if you're looking for something to wash down those wings and things at Hooters, grab an ice-cold Goose Island beer. CHGO is proudly supported by Goose Island Beer Company, and they have been Chicago's beer since 1988. And they have the illustrious beer roster containing the Goose IPA, a 6-time medal winner at the Great American Beer Fest, always in style with a citrus aroma and bold hop finish. You got the Tropical Beer Hug, the dry-hopped Imperial IPA. That is a 9.9 ABV that is dangerously easy to drink. You got the Full Pocket Pills, the everyday beer. That's what the Goose Island beer brewers are drinking. And, of course, the Golden Cans, the 312, the staple of their roster, the wheat ale that you can always find at Goose Island. And, of course, don't want to forget the 2023 Bourbon County brand family of beers that are coming from Goose Island. So if you like those dark beers, that bourbon-aged, barrel-aged stuff, Goose Island's got it there for you, and it's going to be delicious as we eventually go from summer to fall. You can grab all of these and ultra-fresh, brewery-exclusive beers at the Goose Island Original Brewhouse, which is on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or you can go to their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. Again, that is the Goose island Beer Company, Chicago's beer.
Yes.
There it is.
There it is. There's the honks. I am looking forward to summer transitioning into fall for a myriad of reasons.
A little taste of it this week. If you open up your iPhone and look at next Wednesday's...
it's changed. It's down in the 90s.
It has? Okay, good.
Yesterday it said 112, and I was like, what the crap is this? No.
Just a random everybody gets to melt day.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, I am looking forward to fall coming. Fall is my favorite season of the year, by far. I love the cool weather. Hoodie season's my favorite season. Flannel shirt season. Leaves changing colors.
Pumpkin spice season.
I don't hate pumpkin spice. I don't in certain things. I don't need it in everything.
Yeah.
Pumpkin pie is good, and then beyond that,
I know you're a big fan of the pumpkin patches and the apple orchards. That's your favorite.
That's for me. I got to go get my IG cover photos taken at the pumpkin patches. But no, I love fall. Hockey season starts. Football season starts. Baseball playoffs. Like September, October is my time of year. So much good stuff going on. So, and this year, I don't know if you heard, there's going to be this Connor Bedard kid playing for the Blackhawks.
Yeah, I think he might be pretty good.
I hear he's the second best prospect in the world behind Logan Cooley.
Yeah, depends on who you believe, but yeah.
Depending on which press release you read. All right, let's get back to I'm
a big fan of fall.
Fall is great, and Braggs loves the fall too, don't you?
Summer's probably number one, but I like the fall. I hate the winter.
Yes, Riot Fest as well, as Dr. Horror's show says. I'll
go.
see you there in September. Even though it doesn't feel like fall at Riot Fest most times. All right, next question.
Yeah, so now that we're into the second segment of our show, I figure we'll start with the other, aspect of what was in our headline. I'll let you guys fire away. There's two different questions.
Thank
you. I'm working on it here. Two different questions pertaining to the same guy, so I'll let you guys read it.
All right.
All right, so this is from Worth, the Friendly Village. Who has the better college season, Nazar, Frank Nazar, or Oliver Moore?
Who has the better season? I mean,
I don't know what. Depends what you mean by better. Like who has the
more points?
Who has the better statistical season, or who has a better developmental season?
Yeah.
If it's developmental, I'm going to say Nazar. He may also be the best statistical season just because I think he's on a slightly better team.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in a more elevated role to start the year, at least.
Yeah, Nazar is going to be in a top 6 role with Michigan. Oliver Moore probably going to still be in a top 6 role with Minnesota as well. Two of the best programs in the country. Those are going to be some fun games to watch. I know we talked with Chris Peters about Oliver Moore potentially getting to have an opportunity to take the spot that Logan Cooley is leaving as he decided to go from to flip-flop and go back to or go to Arizona and play for the Coyotes rather than go back to Minnesota for a second year, as he originally said. And he wasn't necessarily convinced that Oliver Moore will step right into that spot, that top line spot, but I think Oliver Moore is still going to play probably that second, third line spot at least. Without Adam Fantilli at Michigan, I think Nazar has an opportunity to be one of the top 2 centers for that program. So I think as far as ice time and opportunity goes, Nazar will probably have more of those chances than Oliver will, to at least to begin the season. So if I'm putting a bet down between the two of them, I think Nazar will probably have the better overall season. But I think both guys are primed to have a really good college campaign, and I'd love for them to play against each other in the Big Ten championship, and once again play in the Frozen Four.
That'd be a lot of fun.
The more those guys can play meaningful games in their development stages, the better.
For sure, yeah. And I think we kind of figured Nazar will start the season right away, top line. Michigan or Moore might get there eventually. I find it not impossible, just unlikely that he starts, on a top line in Minnesota, just for the fact that he's a first-year player.
Yeah.
I would imagine Minnesota will give one of the more veteran players that first crack at it, but I could easily see him eventually playing himself into that top line center role as the season goes on. If he just. But it all depends, again, on combinations and chemistry and all that stuff. He may be a second-line center, but that line might get the most ice time, of the season. But let's just hope they both have progressive years where they're making strides in their personal games, great statistical and team success so they can play deep into the NCAA tournament. And as Dr. Horror Show says, and they both stay healthy. No injuries from either of those guys. They got bright futures ahead of them, and this year will be a big step for both of them.
Yeah, and Nate Crumpos in the chat says, I think Nazar has the one-and-done season he was projected by some to have last year that was derailed by injury.
If he starts the way he finished, or if he plays like he did at the World Junior Showcase,
for sure.
I think turning pro after this season is very possible.
Yeah, I think he was probably on a track to play 2 years, anyways. But yeah, if he continues into this season, what he showed at the end of last season, and then what he's shown so far this summer, I don't think there's any reason to think that he wouldn't be at that point where this time next year we're talking about him having an opportunity to make the team out of camp.
Who knows? Maybe we see Frank Nazar in the Calder Cup playoffs with the Ice Hogs at the end of the year.
That'd be interesting.
Hopefully that's a deep run to our friends out west, too.
We got a double-barreled Nazar segment here, and Ovi, at Ovi Clapbomb, asks, who do you project to be the better player for the entirety of their Blackhawks career?
Oh, man.
Reichel or Nazar?
Oof. Well, and they're kind of on the same level for me. They're both guys that I think could play really good Robins to Bedard's Batman, and I think their skill sets early on is what we've seen in their careers. They have a lot of good things that can make them long-term NHL players. If I'm picking between one of the two to have the better, Blackhawks career, I actually think Nazar might. I think Nazar might have a little bit more of a higher ceiling than Reichel, but again, I think both of them have a really good shot at being borderline top line guys. I think Nazar has a better shot at reaching that than Reichel. I think Reichel's bigger landing pad is probably second line winger, complementing in a complementary scoring role. Whereas Nazar, I think if he's not a center, I think he could be a top line winger, speed, scoring, little bit of nastiness to his game. Like I think Nazar could potentially be the guy that has the better career. Hopefully they both have long 15-year fruitful careers.
Absolutely. I tend to agree that Nazar has the higher ceiling, but I think Reichel has the better chance to be more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Be that steady, you're getting 65 points out of this guy every year kind of player.
Mm-hmm.
Where Nazar might be a little more streaky, maybe like a Patrick Sharp, where he'd go a few games without any points and then rack up 7 goals in 4 games,
right? Yeah,
stuff like that. I think Nazar's speed and has a little more is a little more dynamic in his game, can give you that wow factor more than Reichel does. But Reichel, I think, is going to be the more consistent. You know what you're getting from him every night. Where Nazar can give you those flashes of, holy cow, I can't believe he did that. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
It's not a problem. It's a good thing to have. Multiple guys like this coming through your system at the same time. As far as who's going to be better, I just hope they're both really, really good.
Yeah.
And
right.
It's a good debate to have. Like, who's the better player? As long as they're both performing to their potential and a high level, then I hope we could debate that for the next 12 years.
Right.
It'll be a lot of fun. It will be.
So you think Reichel out of those two, for consistency reasons?
Again, what do you mean by better? But I think Nazar has a chance is probably going to be the more dynamic player.
Yeah.
And I think they'll probably get to the same pinnacles in their career. They're just going to take slightly different paths to get there.
Okay. Yeah,
where Nazar could have 3 or 4 huge seasons in a row, and then maybe or have one huge season and then one kind of season and another huge. Where Reichel will kind of be consistent the whole way through.
Yeah. If I would love to be able to get to the point where Reichel is an NHL player that you can just pencil in, like, 20 goals, 50, 60 points.
Yeah.
Like, you know that's what you're going to get from him. I would love for that to be the point that he gets to.
Nothing wrong with being a dependable, very good NHL player for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, is he going to be a superstar? Is he going to be a Hart Trophy candidate? Doubtful.
Yeah.
But, give me 55, 60 points every season for the next 10 years, and you got something.
Well, and you mentioned Patrick Sharp. Like, he had a very important role to play for those Blackhawks teams through the 2010s. And was he ever the best guy? Was he ever the number one guy consistently on that team? No. But on certain nights, he was. And that's the kind of thing that those guys that play that, like, complementary scoring role, those, second line, third line guys, that's what those teams had. That, if the top guys weren't going, if Taves and Kane and Hossa and those guys, if they weren't having their best night, you could count on, like, a Sharp or a Saad or a Versteeg or some player like that to kind of pick up the pace and take a game over once in a while. So I think Nazar and Reichel could be those kinds of guys, and I don't think you have a wrong answer out of either of them. They both have the capacity to do really well.
Yeah, and your point about Sharp is he never was the top guy because he never had to be.
Yeah.
He never was considered a Blackhawks best player because he never had to be. And, bringing in Connor Bedard and getting some of these other top prospects and hopefully making some nice free agent splashes when the time is right, Reichel doesn't have to be the top guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be the top guy this year, which is so big for him.
Mm-hmm.
You got Bedard and Taylor Hall as your top line, and that should be a very good duo. So now it's going to be Reichel and Athanasiou is he going to be his running mate?
Probably.
Which is, I think, a good – so Reichel doesn't have to be the guy this year, and I think that's huge for him going forward. He may turn out to be the guy this season, but he doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Not all the pressure is going to be on him. Or if there was no, say if the Hawks draft third and they draft Leo Carlsson, who doesn't come this year, all eyes, all pressure to be the next big thing is on Reichel. That pressure is now gone, and he could just play his game and be suited better on a second line as opposed to a first line.
Yep, absolutely. All right, what's next? Cole.
All right.
You got it, Greg? Go for it.
Yeah, I can read you. Cole Wyatt asks Alex Stalock. Stalock. I knew I was going to butcher it. Alex Stalock was the Blackhawks.
Guys.
Hey, come on now. You got to be nice. I told you it's my first year. I'm all in with you guys. So you gotta be nice to me.
But if you don't think we're gonna bust your chops,
no, that's
you're on the
fine.
wrong show.
That's why I waited for
and
you
you
to
can
read
dish it right
like,
back because Lord knows
I
earn it plenty of times.
That's why I let you read the first Nazar one, so I made sure I got the enunciation right. Now this one, Alex Stalock was the Blackhawks' feel-good story last season. Who do you think will be the feel-good story this season, and why?
It's a good question. There's lots of candidates out there.
Yeah, Stalock was. I don't want to think of this question as who's their Masterton nominee, because that's such a weird.
Yeah, like I don't want to be like
such a weird
who
thing.
almost died and then played again.
Right.
Thing. I want it to be more of just like a guy that you feel good about having some success.
Stalock was great because once he got into the team, once we got to be around him a little bit in the locker room and hear from teammates and stuff how he was, it was about his demeanor. And his role in the locker room, the way he kind of kept things up, and Luke Richardson mentioned it a lot last season, how he was a guy that helped, keep things feeling good when it wasn't going so great on the ice for the team, kept the locker room feeling good for that. So, yeah, as far as feel good story goes, we've only heard amazing things about a guy like Nick Foligno. I think it would be a lot of fun for him. A guy like him or like Corey Perry, like one of these two guys that probably won't be around for the entirety of the season. But if one of them is one of those guys that, back half of their career, coming into a team that's not looking to contend, They're coming in to, be these locker room presence for, guiding this team, guiding some of these young players through this transition between eras of hockey. It would be great if a guy like Nick Foligno goes out and has a better than expected season. Maybe puts up 30 plus points or something like that, and has some important goals, or puts out a highlight reel play that we haven't seen in 5-6 years from him or something like that. Same for Corey Perry too. Like he's a guy that's coming in to this team and to this fan base that is not a big fan of him from his past performances against the Blackhawks, but I think he's going to be a guy that maybe he turns around some perspectives of him as a player and person, as now that he's in Chicago, and makes himself a fan favorite over the course of his time here.
That would be fun. I think another good candidate for feel-good story is Tyler Johnson. If he could stay healthy for all 82 games and produce to the level that we've seen him in small doses here and we've seen him in Tampa Bay, I think that'd be a feel-good story, because Tyler Johnson he's one of the leaders in the locker room. Yeah. He's a great guy. He's dealt with those injuries over the past couple of years. We know the neck problems he had, and then it was an ankle injury last year that hindered him for quite a bit.
Yeah.
So Tyler Johnson playing a healthy 82-game season and putting up, 30 to 40 points would be a feel-good story.
Yeah.
Our guy Zach in the chat says Seth Jones having a comeback year. He was pretty good last year, but like having that huge that year that you expect out of a guy that's making that kind of money, that would be a feel-good story for a lot of people. Some people would still say he sucks. Our guy Dom will still says he has the worst contract.
Sure.
I would feel good about that, just to kind of like thumb my nose at the haters that still, will still give him no credit. They'll probably say, oh, it's just because Connor Bedard's here. Now Seth Jones having a good year. Peter Mrazek. I'd like to see Peter Mrazek have a solid year. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
And he's a guy that,
as much as we know he's going to get injured, it'd be great to see him not get injured.
That would make me feel good, because it'd be very unexpected. And he's a good guy. And his biggest problem for the last 3 or 4 years has not been his play. It's been
health,
staying healthy.
Yeah.
He had stretches last year where he'd put together 3, 4, 5 really good starts in a row. And then a hamstring would get a little ouchy, or something would, so that would be a good feel-good story. Hey, what would make Blackhawk fans feel really good? Peter Mrazek having a great year, so good that like a contending team wants him at the deadline, and you actually get an asset for a guy that you acquired for an asset.
That would be the feel-good story of the year. Absolutely.
I'm rooting for Peter Mrazek. Now that we don't have to like worry about, losing every game for Connor Bedard.
Yeah,
I'm rooting for him to have a big year, because he's a good dude and a quality goaltender. And while we think about futures, Mario, why don't you tell us how our listeners can make their future brighter?
Yeah, if you're looking to get back to school, if you're looking to have a good feel-good story yourself, check out Lewis University. I know Jay is the resident alumnus of Lewis University, but I can pump him up too. Students just like you, people with full-time jobs, families, full-time sports fandoms, they are looking to get back to school and earn a respected degree, and you can do that at Lewis University. It is just 35 miles southwest of Chicago in Romeoville, and it is ranked as one of the top tier colleges by U.S. News and World Report. Lewis partners with numerous employers for tuition discounts and offers evening, online, and blended formats to help you balance your work, life, your family, and your education. Faculty bring real-world experience and instruction to the classroom, which is immediately relevant to your career. And Lewis offers career support and academic resources for all kinds of students across the board, new and old. Looking to complete your bachelor's or master's degree, you can enroll in a professional certificate program at Lewis, and they have the right programs for you. Programs like their criminal justice and public safety program. First responders receive 20% off of tuition and tuition is deferred for 6 weeks after the end of each class. Or they have a computer science grad degree, which is an 8-week session and can be completed or is done in 8-week sessions and can be completed in 1 year. Of course, they also have undergrad degrees for adult students in computer science, aviation, maintenance technology, certificates, business analytics, criminal justice, business programs, tech programs, so many that Lewis offers. So discover how a degree from Lewis can help you build a better world. You can learn more at lewisu.edu/you-can-do-this. That's Lewis, LEUISU.edu/you-can-do-this.
You can do this.
You can do this.
Was that Water
You
Boy?
can do it.
Water Boy.
Yes.
You can do this.
And while you're signing up for your classes over at Lewis University, don't forget to pay a visit to our buddies at Shady Rays so you can get some gear built to last while taking on the sun this summer. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered and your precious eyeballs for the warm weather we're enjoying with premium Polaroid shades that come at a very affordable price. Shady Rays is our favorite independent sunglasses company that offers you a world-class product that's even better than any expensive pair you've ever worn. That I can guarantee. Their durable frames and extremely clear optics are perfect for all your outdoor adventures, and I recommend that if you're going to be outside and you hate getting those annoying lines from the sunglasses, get a pair with their awesome clear frames. I wore those on the boat Saturday, first time out like on a boat this in a long time. No annoying sunglasses line. I didn't get the raccoon eyes because I wore the clear frames, which they look awesome anyway.
Very stylish.
They are. That's my favorite of my multiple Shady Rays pairs. And that's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, clear frames, brown frames, black frames, doesn't matter. If you break them, even on day one, or lose them, they're going to send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. You can wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after you purchase. You're going to look good and you're going to feel good because together with their customers, Shady Rays is providing much-needed support to nonprofit partners across the U.S. through Shady Rays' impact, from building play sets for pediatric cancer patients to providing young adults with MS the outdoor adventure of a lifetime. Shady Rays is making an impact in your community and others like it now and for years to come. And if you don't love your Shady Rays, you can exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. Don't worry about this part of the promo because you're going to love your Shady Rays. But there is no risk when you shop. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving you, the beautiful, lovely CHGO family, their best deal of the season. Go to ShadyRays.com, use the promo code CHGO, your favorite sports podcast, for the 50% off all orders that have 2 or more pairs of the awesome shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people.
You know where you're going to need a pair of Shady Rays? Out on the golf course.
Yes.
And you know where the best place to go if you want to get out on the golf course this summer is?
I hear Cog Hill's nice.
Cog Hill is nice.
Around
course,
the 25th day of August. I hear it's beautiful.
Cog Hill course number 2 on August 25th, to be exact, is going to be the place to be for all of you golfers out there. It's the CHGO Kickoff Classic, the first one we're having. It's going to be a tremendous time out there. August 25th, you can go to our events page at allchgo.com to sign up. Do that by Friday. This Friday, you need to get yourself signed up. That is the deadline to make sure that you will be playing in the CHGO Kickoff Classic. What does it all entail? Well, it's a 9 a.m. shotgun start on August 25th out at Cog Hill. When you sign up, you get 18 holes with a cart. Plus, you're going to get an exclusive CHGO and Pins and Aces golf towel for all players. There's going to be multiple contests on different holes. Tons of prizes and giveaways. You get lunch, drinks, and a ceremony after the round. Of course, if you are a diehard, you're going to save 20% on your entry fee. You can sign up as an individual, a twosome, a foursome. But again, get it done by this Friday to make sure that you have a spot for the first ever CHGO Kickoff Classic. Again, August 25th at Cog Hill, course number 2. I'm going to be out there hacking and whacking it around the course.
Careful.
It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, I saw the little video that Kevin made. You got a nice swing.
Hey, look, I had
and then
nothing
he
to do
throws
with that
me
video.
completely under the bus.
I had nothing to do with that. All Kevin said was, "Hey, can you send me that video?" I said, "Sure." And then I saw what he did to you, and I was like, "Ugh,
Yeah.
I did not sign off on that."
That's all right. We're gonna find out.
Yeah, well,
next
that's
Friday.
true.
F around
That's
and find
true.
out.
You know,
Yeah. Hey,
Hey.
you prizes for the first place and last place teams.
because
So
I'm gonna beat Carm. I mean, it's a scramble, so this is gonna be a little hard to.
just
you know.
keep a tally of how many of your shots are used throughout
Okay.
the round to his shots used.
Well, I know
that's how
whatever
you'll
team
tally it.
Carm's on,
Yeah.
he's gonna lose.
I know it's not going to be my team.
Well, if you want to have a less competitive night out, don't forget tomorrow night is our second of two
Yeah.
baseball takeovers. We're taking over Wrigley Field tomorrow for the final game of the Crosstown Series, correct? Isn't that the last
They
game?
play tonight and then tomorrow.
Hopefully the Cubbies are going for the 4-game sweep. We'll know more about that. But there's still just a couple of tickets left. If you want to join CHGO over at Wrigley Field tomorrow night for Cubs versus Sox, head over to the events page. Of course, diehards will get their discount for the last couple tickets left. You're going to get a pregame meetup over at the Almost Home bar on Clark Street, right by the ballpark.
Right across the street from the Obvious Shirt store.
There you go. We know those guys. You can get the Obvious Shirts CHGO Cubs crossover collaboration shirt. Then go enjoy some beverages and food before the game. Check out the game. You're also going to get your choice of one of our two CHGO baseball shirts, north side, south side, depending on whoever you're rooting for. So that's tomorrow night. You could still get yourself. There's only a couple of tickets left, and when I say a couple, I really mean only a couple of tickets left.
Yeah, like
so
2 or 3.
Come join us at the ballpark
Go get
tomorrow
'em.
night. You're going to wish, when it's January and you're shoveling snow, you're going to wish, God, I wish I was at the ballpark with my friends from CHGO. Make it happen. Get those last couple of tickets. All right, we got a couple minutes left. We have a super chat from our buddy Windy City Hockey. $2 super chat. Thanks for that. How many goals, points will Marian Hossa have on Friday? All of them.
All of them.
Minimum 10 goals.
I mean,
80 goals, 1 assist for 80 points.
the goaltenders, we went through the lineup yesterday for his goodbye game. The goaltenders are Peter Mrazek, Yaroslav Halak, and Scott Darling. So I think the goals will be there to be had.
And if you're seriously trying to stop Marian Hossa in his last game, you're a jerk.
Yeah, I mean, play at 70%.
Yeah.
You know.
I say he scores on every shot he takes.
Sure. I'll say he puts up 4 goals and 4 assists. 8-point night. First star of the game.
All right. Well, yeah. I think that sounds. I'm thinking double-digit points.
Yeah.
I mean, the
It all
final score is
all depends on how much these guys are trying.
right. I mean, it's going to be like an all-star game feel. Guys,
There's some 40 and 50-year-olds out there, but yeah, it's still going to be a lot.
It's going to be like a 14-12 final score.
Yeah.
So, I think Hossa gets like 6 goals, 4 assists.
Okay. 10 points.
10 points for our guy.
That sounds right.
81 points for Marian Hossa.
At least, or maybe 18. You know, he also
18.
wore number 80. We don't want him to hurt himself.
18 points.
81, whatever
Jeez.
Hossa wants.
Yeah.
Okay, so Team Dieck at Team Dieck said,
Yeah.
you are the new NHL commissioner. What changes are you making?
Oh, that's a good question. First and foremost, the loser point is going away.
Ooh, okay. 2 points or no points.
2 points or no points, or if you still want to get a point, like I don't agree with getting a point just for getting the game past regulation and still losing.
Okay.
It screws up the standings. So either the loser point goes away, or if you want to keep the loser point, 3 points for a regulation win.
Okay.
And then 2 points for an overtime winner, an overtime or shootout win, and the 1 point. So it makes those teams that last minute of regulation, instead of kind of coasting, going, all right, we know we got a
We'll
point.
just push it to overtime.
Try and win the game in the last minute. So make it 3 points for regulation win, but only 2 points if you win in an overtime or shootout, or just get rid of the loser point altogether. That would be my first and biggest change, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that idea. I think if you have the opportunity to walk away with 3 points in a win in regulation, that's a lot more of an incentive than maybe just coming away with 2 or 1. So yeah, I think that would be that'd be a good change. I would get rid of the hard cap. I would introduce the luxury tax and just the teams that can spend money, go spend money. I mean, I know we're all worried about competitive balance and everything, but how many times do we see teams in baseball that have low payrolls that are still competitive? There's ways to figure it out and know how to do it without having to, be the Yankees or be these teams that just can spend $1 billion.
But being those teams doesn't necessarily equal victories either.
Exactly.
San Diego Padres spent hundreds of millions of dollars this offseason, and they're not making the playoffs.
Yeah. So I would go that route. It allows the players to be more fairly compensated for what they go through to play in the league. And then, I think, teams that can spend into the luxury tax then helps those lower level teams. There is a way to do it. It's still competitive balance, and I just think it takes away the punishment that teams have experienced, especially the Blackhawks, in past years where you have your own talent that you drafted and that you developed, and then, oh no, we have too many good players, we can't pay them all. Yep. It punishes teams for being good. So I would get rid of that.
One other change I'd make, I'd go back to the 1-8 playoff format. Okay. 1-8 reseed in the second round, like it used to be. This whole divisional wild cards for the birds. Don't like it.
Nothing wrong with that.
All right, we got two more.
Try and rifle through them.
We'll rifle through them. You want me to read them?
I got this one. I got you back here, Brad. This one's a little tricky. There's a couple consonants that normally don't go together there. With the retirement of Krejci now, in addition to Bergeron, isn't this the perfect time for our captain also to make it official? What's the latest on the Taves situation? How do you expect it to play out over the next 6.5 weeks? What's the latest? We know exactly what you guys know.
Yeah.
Nothing has really gone out there. I do think it's playing out with him officially retiring. I think he's played his last game in the NHL. But, I don't think we're going to find that out until training camps have started and he's ramped up. I'm assuming he's off ice training to try and get ready, and he may get to a situation where he's like, I just can't get there.
Yeah.
Or
he's playing in the Hossa game, so he's at least going to be on the ice for that. But yeah, I agree. I think he's done. He wasn't officially listed as an available free agent for this off season, so as far as I know, that sounds like he can't be signed unless he does eventually list. But I think knowing that he didn't do that, it's either he's taking a year off to recalibrate and see if maybe he can go one more year next season, which doesn't sound like that's what he wants to do from what he said last year. Or it's just, when it comes to late September, early October, we might get the official announcement, and that'll be that. So we'll see. But again, I don't think he's gonna play again.
No, it certainly sounded when we got to talk to him for that extended press conference after his final game at the United Center. It sounded like a man that knows. Yeah, it's been a hell of a run, but it's time to start something different. But things can happen. All right, last question of our 2-day mailbag-a-thon. This is from Colin Powers. A fun hypothetical: where are the Blackhawks at if they win last year's draft lottery and give Columbus the previous year's first-round pick? They're not.
If they win last year's draft lottery,
right? Which means then Columbus would have had this year's first-round pick, right? Isn't that what it was? That last year's pick would have gone to the Hawks if they were 1 or 2, and then Columbus would have got this year's pick.
Yeah.
So they would have Yaroslav Slavkovsky.
They would have had 1 and 3 this year, Columbus.
Yeah. Columbus would be in a hell of a spot.
They'd have Bedard and Fantilli.
Yeah. And the Blackhawks would not have Connor Bedard.
No.
Or probably not Kevin Korchinski or Frank Nazar. Yeah, no. What do I think about that
Colin,
scenario?
you said this was a fun hypothetical. That's not fun to think about at all.
That scenario sucks. Listen, I'm not ragging your question either. I know what you're going at.
Yeah.
The Blackhawks would not be in a better spot had they won last year's draft lottery to this year's draft lottery. Because who knows who they pick? I mean, Yaroslav Slavkovsky wasn't the number 1 overall pick until
a month or two before.
Yeah, it was Shane Wright for 2 years. We heard it was Shane Wright. So who knows who they even pick there? Do they still trade Alex DeBrincat and get Kevin Korchinski? Do they still trade Kirby Doc and get Frank Nazar?
Yeah.
Who knows? They don't get Connor Bedard. That's the key. And I'm sorry, any scenario where Connor Bedard is not a Blackhawk, I'm not trading for it for anything.
Yeah. No. I mean, having Slafkovsky or Wright or the world's best prospect Logan Cooley could have been a reality, but I'd much rather have Connor Bedard and be in the position that the Blackhawks are in, rather than any kind of alternate scenario.
Yeah. Thank God we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Because we were all worried about that last year. I remember saying, man, if they win, the worst case scenario is getting one or two in this draft that doesn't have that clear gut guy and giving Columbus that extra shot at Bedard. So thankfully that didn't happen. All right, that is going to wrap up all of our questions, our 2-day mailbag extravaganza. Thank you again, everybody who sent your questions on Twitter, Discord. If you got some good questions thinking of, don't worry, we will do another Mailbag Monday, maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday again next week. So start rolling in those questions, saving them. We'll get you the notification. As always, if you're a diehard, you get access to our diehard Blackhawks Discord channel. All the questions in there get top priority. We're going to be back tomorrow, just Mario and myself. We're going to do our Around the League Wednesday. We got plenty of stuff to talk about. A sad story out of Toronto.
Yeah.
David Krejci's retired. Jeff Petrie is on another team. And then the NHL Network released their top 20 wingers in the game. And I'm sure we're just going to read the list and say, yes, I agree completely with you have everybody on that list. So that will be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The rest of the week, Thursday, we're going to have Sean Sullivan, Sully26 on Twitter. He's going to be bringing in some of his game-worn jersey collection. He's got some amazing stuff. He also runs the CHGO Blackhawks jersey history website. So we're going to get a history lesson on how the jerseys have kind of evolved and been tweaked over the years. Not just like...
And he's got jerseys from like the 60s and
50s, I think.
It's impressive.
So he's going to bring in some of his favorite game-worn jerseys. So we're going to tell a lot of stories. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then Friday... we're talking about...
No Sleeves Gaming.
Yes, No Sleeves Gaming.
His name is Cam. We like our Cams on this show.
Yes, so if you're named Cam, there's a chance you're going to be a guest one day. But Cam's going to talk to us about the new NHL 24.
Yep, the reveal trailer comes out tomorrow, so we can maybe touch a little bit on that. That news. But yeah, Cam's going to come on Friday and kind of give us his thoughts on the NHL game and what he knows, what he's seen so far through the development phase, and hopefully get us excited about the NHL 24 edition coming out. It's going to be a fun week. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yep, it's going to start tomorrow with Around the League Wednesday. For Mario, I'm Greg. We will see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast. Thanks for Braggs for doing a tremendous job producing our show. We'll see you everybody tomorrow.